Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit more about me, but I guess I'm just going to explain some of my interests so that some other ENFJs out there might know what are some, I guess, common interests. I really hate stereotypes a lot, but I also think that they're helpful at times, and I don't know. So basically, I really like singing. I've been involved in music ever since I was a little kid. I really, really, really like creating, and now all intuitives are creative. I get that. I don't really know what the point of this video is, but I'm really into comedy. I'm in sketch comedy at school. In high school, I did speech and debate. I was always an avid talker. I was always wanting to be on stage. Always, always, always. I don't feel myself unless I'm on stage in some way, unless I'm performing. I'm really interested in video editing, and I'm really interested in talking about philosophy and talking about politics. I don't read as much as I'd like to because it strains me too much. I really prefer watching documentaries and reading articles because I think I have a shorter retention span. I think that has to do with that my TI is lower, that as much as I would love to get the knowledge from a book, I think that I just learn best from auditory things. Like, it's not that I'm getting bored of the knowledge that I would be learning in a book. It just strains me to have to, like, read and focus for that long. So yeah, I really like to read articles to keep informed. I really like to watch either YouTube videos or documentaries to learn. I don't really like fiction or stories as much as I like nonfiction. I find that kind of weird, but I think that people in real life are so interesting that why would we want to create another person? Like, I understand, like, I think that the art form is really incredible, but I find that my mind is always so focused on the real world and always so focused on trying to understand the real world that in my free time, I don't know why I would do anything else. Also, in my free time, whenever I'm like in my free time, I don't just mean leisure time, I mean like alone time. I don't know how to I don't know how to like do nothing. I'm very, very productive to where if I don't have homework or anything to do and I'm alone, then I will either make sure I'm creating something or make sure I'm reflecting, make sure I'm using that time to its fullest. I think NI really is obsessed with that. So I'll just analyze like, who am I? Like, what could I be doing? And like, I'll just journal about what I've experienced and reflect and like try and get over emotions that I have not been over, try and recoup. Like, once I'm done with that, if I feel like, oh, I'm all reflected out, and I don't really know how to entertain myself, I don't see that I'm like ready to go back in the world at that point. Like, once I'm done with whatever I've got to do, once I'm done doing homework, and so if I like ever get bored, when I was a kid, I used to get so bored. Like, I would like cry to my mom, like, Mom, I have nothing to do. Why won't you tell me? Why won't you just give me something to do? And so I guess that I've always had to be creative about things. I've always had to either like make sure I'm like writing a blog or try to teach myself Logic Pro and make music. I'd say my friends describe me as really passionate, but also really blunt about giving them advice. I probably get upset for, I mean, I don't know if you want to say this is a bad reason, but I get upset when people disregard my advice that I've given them. And if you're my friend, you're going to get advice from me, and if I'm not going to hear you have the same problem over and over if you aren't going to do anything about it. And so I'm going to give you advice, and it's going to annoy me if, like, I guess I can call people out, which I'm not trying to be mean, but I also have been told that I couldn't seem mean if I tried. because it's, if anything, I give so much to people without expecting anything back, but at the same time, I really want it back, and so I call people out if they aren't like being as good of a friend as they could, and people could be annoyed at me for it, but they also love me for it, because I think that of the closest people, and this just sounds so cocky because I'm afraid, I still feel like this whole video, like, why am I talking about myself so much? I don't normally, but I still thought it'd be useful maybe for some people. But I already forget what I was going to say. Oh, I was just going to say that I guess a lot of the closest people to me have told me that I, like, inspired them or, like, changed their life because, I don't know, because even if I tell them, like, hey, you're being a shitty friend when you did this, or, like, hey, you're not focusing on school enough, like, they learn to appreciate it. I've found that what I say sticks with them, even if it sounds harsh at the time, because I always make it clear that whenever I'm calling them out, like, I think that I relate a lot to ESTPs, honestly, compared to, like, I relate more to ESTPs than I do to INFJs at times, because I know that ESTPs have this problem where they call people out, but I always make it clear, I think, unlike an ESTP, that I'm still their friend, and I'm still on their side, and I feel like people can, like, cower in my personality whenever they know that they're wrong, and I'm not trying to really make them feel like, wow, you're so wrong. I just am trying to bring up a topic. I'm trying to let them know, like, listen, like, you are being hypocritical and it hurts my feelings and I'm still on your side, but hey, and I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, like, as a kid, I would ask a lot of questions. I was really loud. If my mom told me I had to go to bed, I would be like, why? Like, I would never take anything at face value, which I think is an NI trait, but it'd get annoying sometimes when, like, annoying for my mom, because she'd tell me I had to go to bed, and I would just scream, like, well, Mom, I'm still awake, so what are you going to do about it? I would just scream at her. In that sense, I guess, like, people always say ENFJs can be manipulative. I don't think that I ever was, like, manipulative, but I mean, maybe I was trying to manipulate my mom in, like, not wanting to go to bed, but I was always an arguer, like, as a kid, like, arguer not for the sake of arguing. I would never just want to point out people's flaws, but I didn't like being controlled. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I wanted there to be reasons for things. I didn't like to just, I would always ask, like, well, Mom, why do we even have money in the first place? Why can't we just share? And, like, stupid things like that. Stupid idealistic kid things to think. Yeah. I'm a journalism major, and I've found that most journalism majors, or most ENFJ journalism majors, are actually broadcast majors, because I've found that I really want what I do in my work to be an extension of me. Well, all the ENFP journalism majors, they want to be behind the scenes. They want to tell the story. But I think ENFJs I want to be a part of something. I want to put my whole self in whatever I'm doing. That's really important to me. And that's why I always like performing, but now I'm trying to figure out how am I to find something else that I could put my whole self in and be as passionate about. And right now, I just really want to make a positive impact on the world. And I don't really know how I'm going to do that, but if I can make a positive impact on my friends by just being me and by sharing what I know, then I guess that's what I'm trying to do. So, yeah.